question 10, 2013 Junior Cert Ordinary Level. And the first thing is find the values of the expressions. They're telling us x is equal to 3 and y is equal to 5. So they're saying 5x plus 4y, and they give us these brackets, 5 by whatever and then 4 by whatever. So 5 by x means 5 multiplied by whatever x is. So when we have brackets, that means multiplied. So x is 3, so I'll put 3 in here. And 4y means 4 multiplied by whatever y is. So 4 multiplied by y, which is 5. So 5 by 3 is going to be 15, and 4 by 5 is going to be 20. So when we add them together, we're going to get 35. And then the next question, it says so evaluate x squared minus y squared. So if we want to find the value of this expression, we're going to also have to sub in that x is equal to 3. So whatever x is squared minus whatever y is squared. So 3 squared is going to be 9. And then 5 so sorry, that was plus here. It's a plus here, sorry. So 9 plus whatever plus 5 squared is 25. So when we put them together, we're going to get 34. So that's our answer for that. And then the next one is multiply. So this was one part, and now part B we're on to now is multiply 5 by 3a minus 4b. So when we have one thing outside a bracket, that means we multiply the 5 by the 3a and the 5 by the minus 4b. So we multiply the numbers together, and then we kind of multiply, say, the letters together. So 5 by 3 is 15, and then we keep our a. 5 by minus 4 is minus 20, because a minus by a plus is a minus, and then we keep the b, so minus 20b. So then we get 15a minus 20b. And then the next one is, so this is b part 2, where we multiply x by x minus y plus y by x. So one has a minus in one and there's a plus in the other. So x by x, so x by x is going to be x squared. If we had y by y, it'd be y squared. If we had y by x, it'd be xy or yx. So x by x is going to be x squared. X by minus y is minus xy. Y by x is, I'll just write xy or yx, it doesn't matter which way we write it, xy. And then y by y is y squared. So xy minus xy, that's just one thing minus itself, so that's going to be 0. So then I get x squared plus y squared. So that's what I get, and that's kind of in its simplest form. And then part C I was asked to do is factorize fully each of the following. So CI is 4xy minus 6x squared y squared. So I have to so bearing in mind that's x squared is x by x and y squared is y by y. So say if we had 6x squared y squared, that'd be 6 multiplied by x by x, multiplied by 2 x's, and then multiplied by 2 y's. So that'd be what 6x squared y squared would be. So I have to figure out, so I'm going to write this as that. So 4xy minus 6. So instead of x squared, I'm going to write x by x, and then there's 2 y's multiplied as well. So I don't have to do this step, but I'm just going to do it so we can see exactly. So I'm going to see what can we divide both of these by. So the highest number I can divide them both by is 2, and they already given us that we're actually going to take 2xy outside our bracket. So if we divide this by 2xy, well, 4xy divided by 2xy, well, the xy's will cancel and we'll just be left with 2. And if we divide 6x squared y squared, which we know is x by y, so I'll just write it as 6 by x by y, and we divide that by 2xy. Well, one y here will cancel with a y, and then an x will cancel with an x. So that'll be 6xy over 2, 6xy over 2. We can divide 6 by 2 and we'll get 3xy, so minus 3xy. So that is our answer for that one. And then so The next one is, so we're asked to factorize. So 2ax minus ay plus 2bx minus by. So the 4 different types of factorizing are highest common factor, grouping, difference of two squares, and quadratics. Grouping is usually with 4 terms, and I think this is going to be grouping. So what we have to do in grouping is we take out the highest common term in the first 2 pairs, in the first pair, and then we take out the highest term in the second pair, and our brackets will have to match. So the highest thing I can take out of both of these, I would say, would be a. So then I'm left with 2x minus y. And the highest common thing I can take out of both of these would be b, and then I'm left with 2x minus y. So when I get to this stage, my brackets have to be matching. So then I'm going to put the a and the b together in one bracket by itself, a plus b, and in the next bracket I'm just going to put what I had in the 2 matching brackets, which is 2x minus y. So that's that answer. And then so the next part is so I'm going to go on to question 11 from this question. So question 11, I was asked to factorize x squared minus x minus 12. So what I'm looking for are the 2 numbers that multiply to give minus 12, 2 numbers that multiply to give minus 12, but add to give what's attached to the number of the x. So when there's no number, we just assume it's 1, but there's minus whatever, so it's minus 1, but add to give minus 1. So because it's a minus 12, if I multiplied a plus by a plus together, I would have got a plus, so it can't be 2 pluses. If I multiplied a minus by a minus, I would have got a plus, so it couldn't have been 2 minus. Only way I could have got 12 is if I multiplied a minus 12 is if I multiplied a minus by a plus. So the factors of 20, I could have had, the factors of minus 12, I could have had 12 and minus 1. I could have had minus 12 and 1. I could have had minus 6 and 2. I could have had 6 and minus 2. I could have had minus 3 and 4. I could have had 3 and minus 4. So say if I put 12 minus 1, well, that's going to be 11. Minus 12 and 1, that's going to be minus 11. Minus 6 and 2 will be minus 4. 6 minus 2 is 4. Minus 3 and 4 will be 1. And then minus 4 and 3. So this will give me minus 1. So I put x in each bracket, so x, and in 1, so this is my pair that will work. In one I'll put x plus 3, and the other I'll put x minus 4. So that is that factorized. And then I was asked to use your so then it says, the next part says, use your factors from above to solve x squared minus x minus 12 equals 0. So when we have something like this, the first thing we need to do is factorize. So we already factorized it in the last question, so it was the exact same question. So I'm just going to write it in terms of the factors that we already got, x plus 3 and x minus 4. And when we have 2 things and they're multiplied together to give 0, the only way I could have possibly got 0 was if one of those was equal to 0. So I have to let each of these equal 0. So x plus 3 equals 0, x minus 4 equals 0. So then I want to maybe get x's on one side, numbers on the other. So what I could do is subtract 3 from both sides, or I could say I'm plussing 3 on this side. If I move to the other side, I'll be minusing 3. So x is equal to minus 3. And I can say here I can add 4 on both sides, or I can say if I'm minusing 4 on one side and I move to the other side, I'm going to be plussing 4. So x is equal to 4. And I'm going to get 2 answers when I have a quadratic. And that is that question done. So, and then the next question that I want to do is kind of a practical one. So this is question 12. So the last few ones have been quite like algebra based. So this is kind of more practical. So Clodagh tests the knowledge of her 2 sisters, Anna and Lauren. Clodagh said, so this is question 12. So I'll put this up on the screen so you'll have it. So Clodagh tests the knowledge of her 2 younger sisters, Anna and Lauren. So Clodagh, I'll just write C for Clodagh. Clodagh says, what Clodagh says is that the sum of 2 consecutive numbers is 35. The sum of 2 consecutive, and consecutive means come after each other. Consecutive numbers is 35. So Anna says the numbers are 20 and 15, and then Lauren says the numbers are 17 and 18. So you have to say which sister is right, which sister is correct. So we have to say which sister is right. So one of them says that so consecutive numbers are numbers that come kind of one after another. So 20 and 15 don't exactly come one after another. So we're going to have to say that Lauren is right because 17 and 18 are consecutive numbers. They come after another. So Lauren is correct because 17 and 18 are consecutive numbers. Consecutive numbers. So consecutive numbers are numbers that come one after another. So then the next part is Clodagh says that, okay, so this is another number that she's imagining. So Clodagh says, so this is Clodagh says, when 8 is added to 3 times the number, when we add 8, so I'll just write what she said. When 8 is added to 3 times a number, the result is 47. So Anna works out the correct answer, which is 13. Anna gets the right answer, which is 13. Right answer. And we are asked to say one method Anna could have used to get the right answer. So what we're doing, so when we have, say, a number that we don't know, 3 times a number, so let's call this number x. So let's let the number equal x. So when 8 is added to 3 times a number, so first I need 3 times a number. So a number, so then 3 times that will be 3 by x. So they said when 8 is added to 3 times the number, so when 8 is added to 3x plus 8, we get 47. So now I have to solve for this. So if I want to get numbers on one side, x is on the other, so I'll move my 8 to the opposite side, or I can subtract 8 from both sides. So 3x is equal to 39. And then what I have to do is divide both sides by 3 in order to get x by itself. So I'll divide both sides by 3, and then I get x is equal to 13. So this is one way that she could have possibly got out what we had. So then the next part of that is simultaneous equations. So this is a part C. We're asked to solve 5x plus 2y is equal to 30, and then 3x minus 2y is equal to 2. So in simultaneous equations, we want one of the x's or y's to cancel. In order for them to cancel, they need to have the same number attached to them. So this number attached to a variable is called a coefficient. So in your book it might say the same coefficient, but they need to have opposite signs. So it has to be either something minus the exact same thing, so it will cancel to be 0. So say if we just look at this, the y's already have the exact same number attached to them, and they have opposite signs, so we can cancel them already. So then we put our 5x and our 3x together and we get 8, and then 30 and 2 together and we get 32. And then if we want to get what x is, what we're going to have to do is divide both sides by 8. So divide both sides by 8, and then we get x is equal to 4. So what we have to do now is, we're not finished because we now have to go back and figure out what y is. So we can figure out what y is by subbing y back into either one of our equations here. Let's call this equation 1 or equation 2. Say we sub x equals 4 back into equation 1. So equation 1 was 5x plus 2y is equal to 30. And let's sub in x equals 4. So 5x means 5 multiplied by x. So 5 multiplied by 4 plus 2y is equal to 30. So 5 by 4 is 20 plus 2y is equal to 30. So then we can subtract 20 from both sides. If they were plusing 20 on this side, we bring it to this side, it'll be a minus. So 2y is equal to 30 minus 20. So 2y is equal to 10. So if we divide both sides by 2, we'll get that y is equal to 5. So we got that x was equal to 2 and then y is equal to 5. And just see if there's another part to that question. No, that is our question. Thank you.